कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा।
Recording in progress.
Dear devotees, you are all welcome for continuity of our Bhakti Vaibhav study of 5th canto of Srimada Bhagvatam. We are discussing the teaching of Lord Rishabdev to his dear sons, and yesterday the last portion was the Guru, the God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Rishabdev, who is none different than Vasudev. He is the expansion of Vasudev, is in the family of the Rishabdev. And then the devotee, by whose mercy we can approach the Supreme Lord, is also in the family, and that is Bharata. Now, before we proceed further, what do you think? This name of Bharat, have you ever heard somewhere as a great devotee? Hare Krishna, mujhe class diya le. Mujhe class diya le.
Hare Krishna.
Anybody remember?
In Ramayana, Prabhuji.
Huh? No, that Ramayana birth is different birth.
In Nectar of Devotion also, Prabhu?
Yes, that's what I am looking. Where is that in the Nectar of Devotion? Who said this?
Shakti Mantra here, Prabhu?
Yeah, whoever said this is there, Shakti Mantra, this is there. This is what I was looking for the answer. So where is this in Bhakti Varasamar Sindhu?
In one of the 8 ecstatic symptoms that...
8 or 9? 8 or 9?
I'm sorry, 9 ecstatic symptoms. He became so humble that he was going to the houses of his enemies.
No, it's still you are... Anyway, you are quoting right, but giving a little description is a little different.
Okay.
9 symptom of Bhav Bhakti, which cannot be imitated. 8 are the symptom of the Bhav Bhakti, which are ecstatic symptom, which somebody can imitate. Or somebody who is at Bhav may not show. But the 9 are those which are the criteria for Bhav Bhakti, and in that one is Vrakti. And the Maharaj Bharat is example of Vrakti. Does anybody remember that? Kshanti is example Parikshat Maharaj. So these are the 9: Avairatha, Kalatvam, Shanti, Vrakti, Utkantha. These are the 9 symptoms of Bhav Bhakti. You remember this? Anyway, I am just reminding you, Maharaj Bharat is already at the stage of Bhav Bhakti. And the other thing, even at the stage of Bhav Bhakti, there is a possibility of a little aparadh. And therefore Maharaj Bharat, though he went to the Pulha ashram at Gandaki river, but he was attracted towards the baby deer, and he has undergone the 3 births. But as Jad Bharat, he has perfected his sadhana. So anyway, this is that same birth, right? So now, I think you have also the question bank, and I got the question bank, but mostly the questions are like you have to read the verse and figure out what is the message in the verse. So we will see what are the questions today, and we may try to answer some of them. Now we are continuing today the next section, which is from verse 21 to 25, the glory of Brahmanas. So this section is speaking about the glory of Brahmana. And connection with the previous verses, Rishabdev emphasized to his Kshatriya sons the importance of acting under the guidance of a Brahmana. So now we have these two verses here, verse number 21 and 22. Bhuteshu vruddha bhaya uttamaye sarir sprashateshu. I'm not reading this verse because this verse is more like a hierarchy of living entities. This Srila Prabhupada writes, first let us see this words and like this. Among the living beings, bhuteshu, the snakes, ye sari sirpaha, it means those who crawl, are superior to the plants. Vruddha bhaya uduttama, animals are superior to snakes. Teshu sabodha nishtaha, humans are superior to animals. Ato manushyaha pramatthaha, superior to human beings are Gandharva, superior to them are Kinnara. Indra is superior to all of them. Son of Brahma, the Daksha, are superior to Indra. Shiva, son of Brahma, is superior to Daksha. And Brahma
says.
Sorry? And Brahma is superior to Shiva. I am superior to Brahma, and the best of the Brahmans are worshipped by me. Aham dvija deva devaha. Srila Prabhupada's purport is, in this verse, Brahmanas are given a position superior to that of Supreme Lord. The idea is that the government should be conducted under the guidance of Brahmana. Although Rishabdev recommended his elder son Bharat as emperor of the earth, Bharatvarsh, he still had to follow the instruction of Brahmana in order to govern the world perfectly. The Lord is worshipped as Brahman Devaya. The Lord is very fond of devotees or Brahmanas. This does not refer to so-called caste Brahman, but to the qualified Brahmanas. Whose mic is on, please? A Brahman should be qualified with the 8 qualities mentioned in the text 24, such as Shama, Dama, Satya, Titiksha. These are the Sama, Dama, control of the mind and senses. Hare Krishna, whose microphone is on, please? Who is the host? See, this question in this section is what are the different varieties of the Brahmanas? So, Shama, Dhamma, Satya. Satya means truthfulness. Titiksha means tolerance. The Brahman should always be worshipped, and under their guidance, the ruler should discharge his duty and rule the citizen. Unfortunately, in this age of Kali, the executive is not selected by very intelligent people, nor is he guided by qualified Brahmanas. Consequently, chaos results. The mass of the people should be educated in Krishna consciousness. Now, this is the you can say preaching application. What I am reading now is a preaching application. Prabhupada's desire, his mood and mission is also the same, you can say. Both ways. What is that? The mass of the people should be educated in Krishna consciousness so that, according to the democratic process, they can select a first-class devotee like Bharat Maharaj to head the government. So if we preach more, the people become devotees become more, and then they will select the right person to rule the kingdom, and then there will be possibility of 10,000 years of golden era of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If the head of the state is headed by qualified Brahmana, everything is completely perfect. In this verse, emotionally process is indirectly mentioned. Now the next topic. So up till this, I think we are not at all near to 1% of what Prabhupada is expecting from Krishna conscious movement. That we have not 1% people who can select a right person. So we have a long way to go. The modern theory that life evolved from matter is to some extent supported in this verse. Because it is stated, Bhuteshu Viruddha, Bhuteshu Viruddhabhya. There is a living entity evolved from vegetable, grass, plants, trees, which are superior to a dull matter. In other words, matter also has a potency to manifest living entities in the form of vegetable. In this sense, life comes out of matter, but matter also come out of life. What is that? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Aham sarvasya prabhava mat sarvam pravartate. I am the source of all spiritual and material world. Therefore, everything emanates from me, from Krishna. There are two energies, material and spiritual. And both originally come from Krishna. Krishna is the supreme living being. Although it may be said that in the material world, a living force is generated from matter, it must be admitted that originally matter is generated from the supreme living being. Now, if I am asking you one question, from which supreme being the matter is originated? Yes? From which supreme being the matter is originated?
Mahavishnu?
Mahavishnu.
Yes, Karandaksha Vishnu, which produce all the material universes, the Mahat Tattva is originating from Karandaksha Vishnu, right? So this is the detail we should really look into, not only say, but we should understand what it means. Is it okay? Thank you. And then Prabhupada is quoting this from Kathopa, Nitya Nityanam Chetas Chetananam. So all the living entities are, there's a one spiritual being give rise fulfill the desire of unlimited living entities. They are also the living beings. The conclusion is that everything, both material and spiritual, is generated from supreme being. From the evolutionary point of view, perfection is reached when living entity attend the platform of Brahman. So this is another thing. The perfection of evolutionary point of view is reached when living entity attend the perfection platform of Brahman, which means mostly guided by mode of goodness. And this was actually Prabhupada's mission of establishing Krishna consciousness, that people should be trained to act in mode of goodness. And he wanted really to create a Brahmanical class of people, because that is missing on the planet. A Brahman is a worshipper of Supreme Brahman. This is the definition of a Brahman. Brahma janati iti Brahma. One who knows the Brahma is a Brahman. And he worshipped the Brahman. And he worshipped the Supreme Brahma. The Supreme Brahma worshipped the Brahmana. They are, both are worshipping one another. In other words, devotee is subordinate to the Supreme Lord, and Lord is inclined to see to the satisfaction of his devotees. So they are, say, Lord, devotee want to serve Lord, and Lord looks the opportunity to serve and satisfy devotee also. A Brahman is called Dveja Deva. The Lord is called Dveja Deva Deva. It means he is the Lord of the Brahmanas, Dveja Deva. And the another name for the Brahman is, say, Bhudeva. They are the worshipable living entities on the earth. They are called Bhudeva. And the Kshatriyas, they are called Nardev. They are Nardev and Brahmanas are Bhudev. Actually, Krishna is at a spiritual platform, and the next platform is Bhudev. They guide, and the Nardev, they execute. So the government should be guided by Bhudev and executed by Nardev. So Brahman and Kshatriya should work cooperatively. The Brahma Tej and Kshatriya Tej, if they work together, then the things will be in order. Srila Prabhupada writes, the evolutionary process is also explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is the teaching to Srila Rupa Goswami, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says there are moving and non-moving living entities. Among the moving, there are some in the ocean, some on the earth, some in the sky. But those who are on the earth, the only smaller amount is human being. Smaller in number is human beings. And among the human beings, this says, among the human beings, Prabhupada writes here, many low-class human beings also, Malesha, Pulinda, Bodha, Shabra. So they are out of Vedic, Vedic culture. The human being elevated enough to accept the Vedic principle is superior. The human being elevated, among those who accept the Vedic principle, generally known as Varnan ashram. Now, this is the name of the religion of the Bharatvarsha, Varnan ashram and Vedic system. Perfectly known as, now, Prabhupada writes, presently known as Hindu system. And then Srila Prabhupada writes, few actually follow these principles. Of those who actually follow the Vedic principle, most perform fruitive activities. It means karma. Or pious activities, which means karma kanda, for elevation to higher position, to the heaven. And now actually what Prabhupada is now bringing us back to Bhagavad Gita. But in Chaitanya Charitamrita, here it is written, Koti karmi madhya ek gyani sreshta. Among the 10 million karmis, one knowledgeable person is best. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Koti gyani madhya ek mukta. Among the 10 million knowledgeable gyanis who realize the soul, one is actually liberated. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Koti mukta madhya durlabh ek Krishna bhakta. Among the 10 million liberated souls, hardly there is a one Krishna bhakta. And then there is a famous verse, Brahmanda Brahmite koi bhagivan jiva Guru Krishna prasade paye bhakti lata bija. So Krishna is merciful on somebody, then he will receive the blessing from a bona fide spiritual master. And the bona fide spiritual master give the seed of devotional service. Now I am asking you a question. What is the seed of devotional service? Yes. What is the seed of devotional service?
Shraddha.
Opportunity to hear.
Opportunity to hear, okay. Bhakti Lata Bij.
Devotee association.
Devotee?
Association.
Devotee Association, okay. So,
Is it desire?
say, yes, who said say?
मुझे स्तुति प्रिय कह रहा था.
What is Stuti Priya saying?
So is it, Prabhuji, is it desire to serve to the Lord?
Desire to serve.
Ichha.
What are all these things coming under which heading? Devotee Association, somebody says
Shraddha.
hearing.
Prabhu, Shraddha.
Shraddha is also to some extent in the beginning is good, which is necessary. But what is all that is called?
Spiritual knowledge.
Not exactly. The word Srila Prabhupada has used in Chaitanya Charitamrita is rules and regulation of devotional service.
Bhajan kriya. Yeah.
Bhakti Lata Bij is rules and regulation of devotional service. Rules and regulation of devotional service. That is called Bhakti Lata Bij.
Vedic.
Yeah, it is Vedic because that is the beginning. And of course, Shraddha is also, Shraddha is the beginning. Shraddha Bindu Guru Diya. This bhajan is also giving the hint that the Bhakti Lata Bij is Shraddha or faith. The drop of the faith given by the Guru in a process of devotional service. Shraddha what? Shraddha in what? Shraddha means faith. Faith in what? Or Nilman is driving, huh? Hari bol. Shraddha in what, Ekanta?
In Krishna and Guru.
Sorry, Shraddha in Ekanta, yes, you said something?
In Krishna, Guru.
Shraddha in Krishna and Guru, based on what?
Scriptures.
The answer is scripture. According to the faith in scripture, devotees are classified Uttam, Madhyam and Kanishth. Sardha Anuswari. So faith in the scripture is a criteria. Okay, so we are going back to our purport. So Srila Prabhupada is bringing immediately us to the Bhagavad Gita Manushanam Sahasreshu Yatati Kaschit Yatati Siddhai. Here Siddhai means, anybody can say what is the meaning of Siddhai in this verse? Among the thousands, one will reach to the perfection. What is that perfection?
Bharat Maharaj.
Not person, the process.
Knowing Krishna in truth.
That is the next line. The next line says, Manushanam Sahasreshu Yatutam Siddhanam Kaschin Mam Veti Tatvata. That is, among those who has perfected, one will know me, Krishna. So they know what? The Prabhupada writes, Gyani. It means he knows self-realized soul. He can reach to the stage of realizing soul. So now you see the Srila Prabhupada's purport. Out of many attached to fruitive activity, one may be Gyani. So Gyani means Siddhai. There is one philosophically inclined and superior to the karmis. Jatadampi siddhanam kasyan mam veti tatvata. Out of many jnanis, one may be liberated from the material bondage. Actually, Prabhupada is giving a translation to the verses of Chaitanya Charitamrita. But Srila Prabhupada is quoting Bhagavad Gita verses. And out of the many millions of liberated jnanis, one may become a devotee of Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada is actually clubbed two together here. Now this purport of Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur is also very informative, particularly about the concept of who is higher, Brahma or Shiva. This purport is good. Now let's see here. In order to teach the Brahmanas, in order to teach that the Brahman should be served, Rishabdev shows that they are best among all people in 4 verses. So in 4 verses there is a hierarchy. Among living entities superior to plants which do not move are the moving beings such as snakes which crawl. Superior to them are animals with intelligence, buddhi. Superior to them are followers of the devatas such as kinnaras. The asuras are superior to them. The devatas are superior to asura. Among the devatas, Indra is the best. Daksh, the son of Brahma, is superior to Indra. Shiva, the son of Brahma, is superior to all. Masculine instead of neuter is virya, is poetic way. Brahma is superior to Shiva since he protects, since he produces him. Because the subject is devotion to Brahmanas. Brahma is considered superior to Shiva because of his service to Brahmana. However, Shiva is superior to Brahma as a Vaishnava and in powers. I am superior to Brahma, Matpara, the best. Vipras among the Brahmanas are worshipped by me. So what is the difference between Brahman and Vipra? What is the difference between Brahman and Vipra?
Krishna considers Vipra superior to him.
So I'm just asking, Brahman and Vipra, is there some difference?
One is doing rituals, Prabhu, and the other one is more conversant with the scriptures.
I think you have done 4th canto, right? In a 4th canto, in a Prachetas teaching to the Prachetas by Narad, there are 3 births, can you know? Sukar birth, and then Brahman birth, and then Vipra. There's something like that there? Anybody recall the last section?
Yes, there are different categories of Brahmanas. And the Vipra is the most qualified Brahmana who has the knowledge.
Yeah, he has a Vedic knowledge. He's not ritualistic, but he has understood the gyaan section also. So he's a learned Brahman, is called Vipra. So there in 4th canto, there is these 3 births. The Sukar birth means birth from mother and father. Then is a Brahman birth, Dveja, 2nd birth from the scripture and guru, and 3rd birth is a Vipra. So he becomes then learned into the scripture. You find that out if you, I think this is what I think it is there. So now we are going to the next verse. I think we have 9 verses today, as Shakti Sarupani told. It's not that we have to finish chapter. Now glories of the Brahmana continues. We are going to the verse number 23. Na brahmana esha tulya bhutamanya pashyami vipraha kimatah paramto yasmin nirbhiha prahuttam shraddhaya aham ashnami kamam na tatha agnihotre. So this is the very important and interesting verse, and you can recall something from your previous study. First time reading from Chakravarti Paths. I do not see anyone equal to the Brahmanas. Brahmanai tulya anyat bhutam na pashyami. Who is superior to Brahman? Attah vipra kim param. I do not accept. Na ashnami. Ashnami means eating. The offerings, prahutam, at the fire sacrifice, agnihotre, as much as tatha. I accept to full satisfaction, aham kamam, what is offered with faith, shraddhaya, to the Brahman's mouth, yasmin, by men, nirbhi. So Srila Prabhupada writes, O respectful Brahmanas, as far as I am concerned, Rishabdev says, No one is equal to or superior to the Brahman in this world. I do not find anyone comparable to them. When people know my motive after performing ritual according to the Vedic principles, they offer food to me with faith and love through the mouth of a Brahman. When the food is thus offered to me unto me, I eat it with full satisfaction. Indeed, I derive more pleasure from food offered in that way than from the food offered in the sacrificial fire. So the summary of the verse is this: I eat through Brahman's mouth. Now Srila Prabhupada is writing, according to the Vedic system, after the sacrificial ceremony, Brahmans are invited to eat the remnants of the offered food. When the Brahmans eat the food, it is also to be considered directly eaten by the Supreme Lord. Thus no one can be compared to qualified Brahmans. The perfection of evolution is to be situated on the Brahminical platform. Any civilization not based on Brahminical culture or guided by Brahman is certainly a condemned civilization. Presently, human civilization is based on sense gratification, and consequently more and more people are becoming addicted to different type of things. No one respects Brahminical culture. Demonic civilization is attached to ugra karma. Horrible activities and big industries are created to satisfy unfathomable lusty desires. Consequently, people are greatly harassed by government taxation. The people are irreligious and do not perform the sacrifice recommended in Bhagavad Gita. And what is that sacrifice? Prabhupada is now quoting this verse. Once Srila Prabhupada was asked by some newspaper reporter, what is the use of Bhagavad Gita, which is 5,000 years old? And Srila Prabhupada quoted this verse. Adhbhut bhutani prajanyadana sambhava. He said, today still people are sustaining their life by grains, and grains are produced by rain. So is there anything changed? What Bhagavad Gita says? So Prabhupada says, Yagnat bhavati prajanya. If we perform the sacrifice, then there will be rain. And with the rain, if there is sufficient rainfall, sufficient production of food. Guided by Brahman, society should follow the principle of Bhagavad Gita. Then the people will become very happy. Anad bhavati bhutani. When animals and men are sufficiently fed with grains, they become stronger and their hearts become tranquil and their brains peaceful. They can then advance in spiritual life. Life is spiritual life, the life's ultimate destination. Chakravarti Pad writes only 2 lines. I cannot compare any other living being to Brahman. Do I see anyone superior to the Brahmans? No. The reason is given in the verse and a half. Now, there are different types of Brahmanas. This is a question in our question bank. I have one story to tell you. Is it okay? Shall I tell you a story?
Yes, Prabhuji.
The king of Jaipur, if you know, he belongs to Nimbark Sampradaya generally. And he's a Vaishnava. And he had housed our Rupa Goswami's presiding deity Radha Govindev in his palace. So he used to always have yagna, a fire sacrifice by the qualified Brahmanas. And he used to offer as a bhoga condensed, very much, say out of 10 kilogram of milk, they used to make 1 kilogram condensed, thick, creamy, with all the dry fruit mixed in it to be offered into the yajna as a offering. And it was going on, but the Brahmins, they was always having this fragrance of this nice, condensed, sweet, creamy, rabdi. They call rabdi. So one day Brahmins could not resist. What they did is they only put few spoon in the fire sacrifice, and the rest they divided among them and ate to their full satisfaction. In the night, the king had a dream that I am satisfied. God said, Krishna told him that I am today satisfied by your yajna. I am very happy. So next day, king called all the Brahmins and said, yesterday how you performed the yajna? So the Brahmins were afraid that must be somebody has seen us eating the bhoga. So if we tell lie, then king will be very angry with us. So it is better to tell truth. So they said, my dear king, we are sorry. Yesterday we only put few spoon in the fire and rest we actually ate. We are sorry, please forgive us. King said, Krishna was very much satisfied yesterday by yajna. It means he is more satisfied when Brahma eats than the yajna, than the things put in yajna. So from tomorrow onward, I will have a 2 set of the same condensed milk, one for yajna and one for you Brahmana. Because the Brahmins eat, that will be more satisfying to Krishna. But now I am asking you in Nectar of Devotion, same thing is there. All the four varnas are coming from the universal body of the Supreme Lord, therefore they should worship the Supreme Lord. If they don't do, then they will fall down. So there it is said, Brahman should eat on behalf of Lord. Because it's coming from the mouth of the Lord, so he should eat on behalf of Lord. Prabhupada writes, that Brahman should eat on behalf of Lord who preach the message of the Lord. If he use his tongue to vibrate the message of the Lord and chant holy name, then he is bona fide to eat on behalf of Lord. But if he is not preaching, simply he is eating, then Lord will not accept this. So there is the Prabhupada's comment there in that section. Anybody remember that? The Nectar of Devotion. This section is there. So other day we were discussing actually, if you teach, then you will remember. Otherwise the study you do after exam, it will evaporate. Maybe the philosophical understanding will be sound, but most of the things, they disappear from your memory. If you teach, then you remember. And because regularly we refer to these things every time teaching, so most of the thing is stuck in mind. You really, are you appreciating this is true?
Yes, Prabhuji.
You have done all these things. You have done these, you have passed these exams, but these things are not sticking in mind. Why? Because we are not using it. So we have to sharpen our intelligence by, like when you sharpen the knife by regularly, putting on a stone, so you use it for preaching, then you will remember. So now we are going to the next verse. The verse number 24.
Prabhuji, I also found on Vipra and Brahman, it was mentioned in 1st Canto, 12th chapter, 29 verse.
What is that?
It is written in, but there is a little difference between the Vipras and Brahmanas. The Vipra are those who are expert in karmakand or fruitive activities, guiding the society towards fulfilling the material necessities of life, whereas the Brahmanas are expert in spiritual knowledge of transcendence.
This is what Srila Prabhupada is discussing something about. Then Prabhupada writes here, the Brahman, see the Vipra can pronounce the verses of the Vedas very nicely, but the Brahmans, they have a more devotion. They may not be able to pronounce the verses very nicely, but they have more devotion. So this is one context is there also. But the other section which I told, 4th canto, you find out 3 birth. There also there is something about Vipra. So it's good. It's good that you should do little more research that what is the difference between the 2 set of Brahman and Vipra. Is okay? I don't see Ajay today. Is not Ajay Prabhu here?
No, Prabhuji, he is not there.
Did he share with everybody the
Yes.
fifth canto? Okay, I sent this after I got some student. He did that job. Okay. So we are now going to the other words. Verse number 24. Dhrita tano ushati me purani ye naiha sattvam param pavitram shamo damah satyam anugrahascha tapastitiksha anubhavascha yatra. So these are the again glory of Brahmana. Chakravarti Pad writes, there is no person superior to Brahman implied who support my pure eternal body in the form of Veda. So the Lord's body is in the form of Veda. Yena dhrita me ushanti purani tanu. In this world here, and in whom reside yatra, the purest sattva, sattvam param pavitram. Control of the senses, control of the mind, shamodama. Truthfulness, mercy, satyam anugraha, cha. Austerity and tolerance, tapah titiksha. And realization of Vedic conclusion, anubhavas. So these are the qualities of the Brahman. Srila Prabhupada writes here, Vedas are my eternal transcendental sound incarnation, which means they are my body in a language of a verse. Therefore, Vedas are Shabda Brahma. In this world, Brahmana thoroughly studied all the Vedas, and because they assimilate the Vedic conclusions, they are also to be considered the Veda personified. The Brahman are situated in the supreme transcendental mode of nature, Sattva Gun. Because of this, they are fixed in mind control, Shama, sense control, Dhamma, truthfulness, Satya. They describe the Veda in their original sense and out of mercy, Anugraha. They preach the purpose of Vedas to all conditioned souls. They practice penance, tapasya, and tolerance, titiksha. And they realize the position of living entity in the Supreme Lord, Anubhava. They are the 8 qualifications of a Brahmana. Therefore, among all the living entities, no one is superior to Brahmana. So, in a translation, Srila Prabhupada has given actually purport, an elaboration on the all points. Now, Srila Prabhupada's purport. So, the summary of this verse is 8 qualities of Brahmana. And we are also 8 qualities of Brahmana in Bhagavad Gita, right? Shamodama, Tapa, Titikshvak. These are the in 17th chapter, I think, 17th, 18th. Where is that verse in Bhagavad Gita? Shamodama, Tapasso, Chamarjam.
The 18th chapter, 45.
Which is the verse? Which verse is that? Bhagavad Gita.
1842.
1842, okay. Then how many qualities are there? Count this. Shamodama tapas shocham 4. Kshanti arajvam 6. Evacha. Gyanam 7. Vigyanam 8. Astikyam 9. Brahmakaram swabhavja 9. There are 9 here, right?
Yes, 9. Yes.
And the 8 are in this verse. So, in future, if you are speaking on Bhagavad Gita verse number 1842, then you can quote this verse from Bhagavatam, 5th canto, the qualities of the Brahmanas. So then now you have another verse available for you with the 8 other qualities of Brahmana. Anybody knows some other qualities of Brahmana Prabhupada used to quote? Yes? Shadkaram Nipuna Viparo. Have you heard this word? Shadkaram Nipuna Viparo. Shad means 6. Karam means activity. Nipuna means perfect. is a Vipra. Yagya, he perform yagya himself and he make other people to perform yagya too. Then the two other is Pathan, he study and he make and teach other people and make them understand. And then the other two are Dadati Pratigranati, he accepts charity and he gives charity. So these are the six, it's called Shadakaram Nipuna Viparaha. The Brahman has these six qualities. Prabhupada used to quote this also from Vedic literature. So now if you can make a small note of the different qualities of the Brahmana. Right now we have from Bhagavad Gita, we have from this section of Bhagavatam, and also Vipra and Brahman, these words we can again search in the Bhagavatam. Because the question in this section, if I remember, I think today I got the message. Yes, Shakti Sharupani. In this chapter, the question is, this section. Why so much difference given to the, why is so much difference given to Brahmana? I think this is not a right thing, 22 to 25. You have this question?
Yes.
What is the word written? What is difference given to Brahmana? Preference, should be preference. I think this is a printing mistake. While so much preference given to Brahman appears to be more perfect, difference.
It should be reverence, Prabhuji.
Huh?
Reverence.
But to me, it is DEFERENCE.
Yes.
Deference also means respect. Deference. DE, not DI. Deference means respect.
Okay, why is so much deference given to Brahman? All right, so now we have to look out in these verses to find out this deference. Thank you for correcting. Okay, so from this we have to, because Brahmans, Prabhupada writes, because they understand Vedas, Veda is the body of this Lord and they preach the Vedas, therefore they guide the whole population, they guide the king. So you have to find why there is so much preference or a difference given to the Brahmanas. Now this is a true description of a Brahman, Prabhupada writes. A Brahman is one who has assimilated Vedic conclusion by practicing mind and sense control. These two words are used for Sudhama Vipra Brahman in a 10th canto. They said he has a controlled senses, peaceful mind, and well learned in Vedic literature. Such Brahman, if you have to, if you go and look at Sudhama Brahman's qualities, these qualities are there. He assimilated the Vedic conclusion by practicing mind and sense control. He speaks the true version of all the Vedas, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Vedasya sarve aham eva vedyo. It means, by studying all Vedas, one should come to understand the transcendental position of Lord Krishna. One who actually assimilated the sense of Veda can preach the truth. He is compassionate to conditioned souls who are suffering the threefold miseries of this conditioned world due to their not being Krishna conscious. A Brahman should take pity on people and preach Krishna consciousness in order to elevate them.
Yes, he doesn't want to reject.
Haribol. Sri Krishna himself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, personally descend into this universe from his spiritual kingdom to teach conditioned soul about values of his spiritual life. He tries to induce them to surrender unto him.
I think what you should do is you just boil that dal, and when I come to give lunch or something, then just give it to me. Lamani Prabhu, I don't think we can come there directly just now because that has to work.
Lamani Prabhuji's mic is
And so, and we're fine.
This is called online teaching. You can do also cooking. There's a difference between the on-site and online.
प्रभु जी आप होस्ट हो तो आप भी म्यूट कर
So
सकते
just now there's no space.
मैं
in our
घोस्ट हूँ,
calendar,
मैं
so-
घोस्ट हूँ, होस्ट नहीं हूँ.
Kishore, you have to work too, right?
बिकॉज शायद मुझे भी देख नहीं रहे
No, no, you could.
Oh,
You
let
can
me
mute people,
let me see
actually.
if I can do. Who is that? After assimilating the Vedic instruction, they assist the Supreme Lord in his endeavor to deliver conditioned soul. This line is very, very heavy line. Krishna comes here to teach the principle of surrender. And Brahmans should assist Krishna in this principle after realizing the essence of Vedas. The Brahmans are very dear to Supreme Lord due to their high sattva gun qualities, and they also engage in wherefore activities for all conditioned soul in the material world. It's like the Grastas are assisting Supreme Lord in creation. Because if they do Garbhadan Sanskar and call the good soul to descend on the earth, then they help Krishna in reclaiming the conditioned soul. So similarly, Brahmanas are assisting Prabhupada writes. They assist Supreme Lord in this endeavor. Chakravarti Pad has written 2 lines only. There is no one superior to Brahman who support my body in the form of Veda in this world, and in whom the 8 qualities beginning with Sattva exist. Now we are going to the next verse of the last verse of this section. Connection with the previous verse. But better than even Brahman are my akinchan devotees. But better than even Brahman are my akinchan devotees. This word akinchan, anybody remember somewhere the word akinchan?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Where?
from
In Krishna's prayer.
Kunti Maharani's prayer, yes. Akinchan Gochar.
जन्म ऐश्वर्य सुधा श्री भी है माना मदा कुमार never हरते भी धातु में तो मकिंचन गोचरम.
So,
in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used this.
yes, he also said those who are akinchan, they can only approach me or understand the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. So what is the definition of akinchan in this verse? Let us see. Mato api anantat patraha prasamat swaragaha apavarga adhipate na kinchit yesham kim yusyad itarena tesham akinchana mai bhakti bhajam. So this is the way to read. The devotees, yesham, who worship only me, mai bhakti bhajam, and have given even themselves to me, who pray for nothing from me except me, mata akinchanana. The Lord, parata parasmat, who possesses infinite qualities, anantat, and can award lordship over swarga, apvarga, adhipaha, need nothing from any other being, na kinchid itarena syat. Srila Prabhupada writes, I am fully opulent, almighty and superior to Lord Brahma and Indra, the king of heavenly planet. I am also the bestower of all happiness obtained in the heavenly kingdom and by liberation. These 2 words are Swarga and Apvarga. Swarga means heavenly kingdom, Apvarga means liberation. Nonetheless, Brahmins do not seek material comfort from me. They are very pure and do not want to possess anything. They simply engage in my devotional service. There is the need of what is the need of their asking for material benefit from anyone else? If they are not asking from me, how can they ask from anyone else? So the summary of the verse is no material aspiration. Srila Prabhupada's purport. The perfect Brahminical qualification is stated herein. Akinchana mai bhakti bhajan. Akinchana mai bhakti bhajan. The Brahmins are always engaged in devotional service of the Lord. Consequently, they have no material wants, nor do they possess material things. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained the position of pure Vaishnava who are anxious to return back to Godhead. Nishkanchanasya bhagavadda bhajan anumakhasya. Those who actually want to return back to Godhead are nishkinchana. That is, they have no desire for material comfort. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised, Sandarshanam Vishyanam atha yoshitam na chaha hanta hanta vishya bhakshanto api asadu. Material opulence and sense gratification through the association of woman are more dangerous than poison. But these two words are here. It's called some similar words somebody can remember from Bhagavad Gita. Similar in the sense, those who want to enjoy and have the opulence. भोगेश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तया प्रहृत चेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धि समाधाओ न विद्यते is exactly same way. Those who want the opulence and enjoyment, they will never be fixed in devotional service. Bhog and Aishwarya. Bhog means attachment to the material enjoyment, and Aishwarya means opulences. So the Brahmins who are pure Vaishnavas always engage in large service and are devoid of any desire for material gains. Brahmins do not worship demigods like Lord Brahma, Lord Indra, Lord Shiva for any material comfort. They do not even ask Supreme Lord for material profit. Therefore, it is concluded that Brahmins are supreme living entities of this world. Sri Kapil Dev also confirms this in Srimada Bhagvatam. Tasman mai arpita sesha kriya arthatma nirantaraha mai arpitatmanaha punsho samai sanyastah karamanahanna pashyami param bhutatmakratu samadarshana. The Brahmins are always dedicated to Lord's service with their bodies, words and mind. There is no better person than a Brahman who thus engage himself and dedicate himself to the Supreme Lord. We read the Chakravarti Pad's purport and then we can discuss something more about Brahmanas. Chakravarti Pad writes, and my devotees are the best. Means above Brahmanas. Why? They are most worthy of worship. They do not pray for the necessities from me. I am unlimited. I, the Lord, having unlimited powers and sweet qualities, exist as their goal. What do they need from any other person such as Brahma? They are without any possession, having given me all possessed objects and their identity. Their identity. What do you think their identity? Yes. Can somebody speak about they have given their identity? What is the identity they have given? Anybody can explain they have given their identity?
The material identity.
Material identity. Yes,
because they start identifying with the Lord as a servant of the Lord.
They are identified as a servant of the Lord. So what is generally the identity that they have given up?
Adhyan buddhi.
The Atma Buddhi, yes. The Atma Buddhi means and actually you have said something in a Sanskrit which everybody may not be able to understand. Somebody can make it more clear. Who was answering this question?
Prabhuji, this side, Golok Vasuni.
Golok Vasuni. Okay. So
Prabhuji, considering the body as a self.
I understand the Atma Buddhi, but before somebody else was speaking, who was that? Prem Manjari?
Yes, Prem Manjari.
Okay. What you said, what I was looking for is the verse for bhakti from Narada Sutra.
Naham viplo na chanarapati.
That is also good. But the verse for the bhakti is Sarva Upadhi Vinurmuktam. So this identity is Upadhi.
Yes, Upadhi. Yes.
Yeah, this is actually word Upadhi. So they are giving up their identity, means Upadhi. Sarva Upadhi Vinurmuktam. And that also further, as Advait you said, that is also Naham Vipro na Grahapati na Brahm. I am not Brahman Sannyasi, I am Gopi Bharta Udas Das Anudas. So that's the meaning of the Prabhupada wrote the only one line, but you have to really dig into it. Can you see this? They even give up their identity. So this normally you never note this what it means. They possess at every moment prema bhakti, and therefore those who desire this bhakti should worship them at all times. What it means actually? It means they should associate with those exalted devotees if they want really prema bhakti. And this is the same verse which Srila Prabhupada has given us in the purport. Pashyami param bhutanam akut samhat darshanat tasman mai arpita. It's the same verse. Superior to gyaan is the person who fully dedicates his activities such hearing and chanting, his wealth, his identity. Same word is here, his identity. Tasmat mai arpit asesh kriya arth atma. The word is atma, which is for identity. Nirantara, always. Mai arpitaha mana, they offer me mind. Punsho mai sanyasta karmana, they give up all their activities on me. Na pashyanti param bhutanam akurtu samdarshan, I don't see anybody equal to them. They give up all varna ashram action. Who think that Lord alone inspire his bhakti and who identify with others' happiness and distress. Bhagavatam 3:29-3. So this they give up varna ashram. So what is this? Which verse you will quote? What category these devotees are? In which category you can put these devotees? Akinchana. Sarvadharman parityaja. They give up the religion, dharma, which is based on body. Varnashram dharma is based on body. Based on a material, three modes of material nature. The mode of goodness is a Brahman. Mode of goodness is a Brahman. Mode of patience is a Kshatri. So, as Ramanand Rai, when he told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, this is out. This Varna ashram is good, but it is still out. You go further because it is based on the three modes of material nature. So higher than that is a devotee. Now we have another section. We are going to the other section. And this section is respect all living entities and engage in bhakti. 2 verses 26 and 7. Respect all living entities and engage in bhakti. Verse number 26. Sarvani madadhishnatyaya bhavadbhish charani bhutani sutadhruvani sambhavitayani pade pade vo bhaktah dragbhistadyu haranam me. Aharanam me means worship me. So Srila Prabhupada writes, my dear sons, you should not envy any living entity, be he moving or non-moving, knowing that I am situated in them. You should offer respect to all of them at every moment. Pade pade. In this way you offer respect to me. Chakravarti Pada writes, O son Sutta, at all times pade pade you should meditate bhavat vihi sambhavitayamini on all sarvani, moving and non-moving beings, charani, dhurvani, bhutani. Chalani means moving, dhurvani means non-moving. With pure vision, vivikta drigvi, since I am situated in all of them, madadhishnayatya. Beside this tattva, you should worship me, aranam me. The summary of the verse is respect all, purport. In this verse, word vivikta drigvi. Dragvi meaning without envy. So this is another word. Which is the other word for enviousness, by the way?
Irsha.
Yeah, Irsha, enviousness. What is Sanskrit word for envy?
Matsarya.
Matsarya, yes. Nirmatsaranam satam. Matsarya. Some other word also in Bhagavad Gita? Sorry?
Dvesha.
Dvesha is also more or less like that. In ninth chapter, you read the first verse.
Anusuyave.
Anusuyave. This is the other word. Suya means envious, anusuya means non-envious. So anusuyave is the other word. So now we have a rich vocabulary. We should enrich our vocabulary. Vivikta drigabhi also means without envy. All living entities are abode of the Supreme Personal God in its Paramatma feature. As confirmed Brahma Santa Andantrasta Paramanu Chayantrastam, Lord situated in this universe as Garbhodakshay Vishnu and Khirodakshay Vishnu. He is also situated within every atom. According to the Vedic statement, Isha Vasha Idam Sarvam, Supreme Lord is situated everywhere and wherever He is situated is His temple. We even offer respect to a temple from a distant place, and all living entities should similarly be offered respect. This is different from the theory of pantheism, which holds that everything is God. Everything has a relationship with God, because God is situated everywhere. We should not make any particular distinction between poor and rich like the foolish worshipper of Daridra Narayan. Poor Narayan. Daridra means poor. Narayan is present in a rich as well as in a poor. One should not simply think Narayan is situated among the poor. He is everywhere. An advanced devotee will offer respect to everyone, even to the cats and dogs. Vidya Vinaya Sampane Brahmani Gaviyasane Sunichaiva Sopakicha Pandita Samadarshana. This is the verse from Bhagavad Gita. Now you know the meaning. I am going here. Samdarshana, equal vision, should not be mistaken to mean that the individual is same as the Supreme. They are always distinct. Every individual person is different from the Supreme. It is a mistake to equate the individual living in entity with Supreme Lord on the plea of Vivek Drik or Samdrik. The Lord is always in an exalted position, even though He agrees to live everywhere. Now, Srila Mad Acharya quotes Padma Puran. He states, Vivikta Drishti Jivanam Dishnatya Parameshwarasya Bheda Drishti. One who has clear vision and who is devoid of envy can see that Supreme Lord is separate from all living entity, although He is situated in every living entity. Madhvacharya further quote from Padma Puran. Upapadyeta paratmana majivabhyo यह पदे पदे यह पदे पदे भी देनैव न चैतस्मा प्रियो विष्णु to question. One should see the living entity and the Lord as always distinct in every deer. In every dear to the, it is very dear to the Lord. Padma also states, Yo Haresh Chaiva Jivanam Bheda Vakta Hare Priya Hari Priya. One who preaches that living entities are separate from Supreme Lord is very dear to the Vishnu. Chakravarti Pad writes, one should give respect to all living entities in order to destroy faults such as disrespect and envy. Because I am situated on all beings. Dear son, you should meditate on all moving and non-moving being with vision devoid of envy and other faults. Other than this, you should worship me. This is the separate sentence including the word va. Now we are going to the next verse. Same thing, respect all living entities, engage in bhakti. Correction, how should you worship me? So you should worship me also. Yeah. So how should you worship me? The verse says, Mano vacho drikkaha karma karamena hitasya sakshat kirtam me paribrahmanam hi paribrahmanam mi vina puman ye maha vimohat kranta pashan na vimoktum ishe. The true activity of the sense organ, mind, sight, word, and all the knowledge, gathering and working senses is to engage fully in my service. Unless his senses are thus engaged, a living entity cannot think of getting out of great entangled material existence, which is exactly like Yamraj's stringent rope. So this rope is also a question in your question bank. Vedic Vishnu Chakra Thakur. Serving me directly, sakshat kritam me, with mind, speech, sight, and other senses, mano, vacho, drik, karna. Karna means senses. Belonging to the body, ihatasya, is a worship of me, me paribrahanam. Without this vina, man, puman, cannot be freed, na vimoktam ishet, from the ropes of death. Kranta pashat, are from great illusion, moho vimohat. There is no liberation without bhakti. Srila Prabhupada's purport. As stated in Narad Panchratra, Sarvopadi Miran Muktam Partvarena Nirmalam Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyati. This is the conclusion of bhakti. All the time, Lord Rishabhdev has been stressing devotional service. So the whole thing is Bhagavad Dharma. And now he is concluding by saying that all the senses should be engaged in the Lord's service. There are 5 senses by which we gather knowledge and 5 senses with which we work. These 10 senses and the mind should be fully engaged in Lord's service. Without engaging them in this way, one cannot get out of the cultures of Maya. He concludes this subject by describing general quality of bhakti and saying that there cannot be liberation without bhakti. Engaging mind, voice, sight, and other senses belonging to the body in relation to me is worship of me. Without this, a man cannot free from the topic of death, from the great illusion. So now we have one more verse, I think. Here it says other thoughts. You have the whole flow chart here. From verse 21 to 27, this is a flow chart. I think you have got this, so you can read this. Now we have 2 more verses to cover today, I think, as per our quota. This section says Lord Rishabhdev's renunciation as an adhbhut. And this section is the last section, 28 to 35. So we have to read 2 verses, 28 and 29 today. So this verse is in a prose, so we cannot read this. We're just going to translation. Shukdev Goswami said, thus the great well-wisher of everyone, Supreme Lord Rishabdev instructed his own sons. Although they were perfectly educated and cultured, he instructed them just to set an example of how a father should instruct his sons before retiring from family life. Sannyasis who are no longer bound by fruitive activities and who have taken to devotional service after all their material desires have been vanquished also learned by these instructions. The Lord Rishabdev instructed his own 100 sons, of whom the eldest birth was very advanced devotee and a follower of the Vaishnava. In order to rule the whole world, the Lord enthroned his eldest son on the royal seat. Thereafter, although still at home, Lord Rishabdev lived like a madman, naked and with disheveled hair. Then the Lord took the sacrificial fire within himself and he left Brahmavarth to tour the whole world. So this is the translation. Rishabdev enthroned Bharat and retired. Srila Prabhupada's purport is very small. Actually, the instruction given to Lord Rishabdev's son were not exactly meant for him, for his sons, because they were already educated and highly advanced in knowledge. Rather, these instructions were meant for sannyasis who intend to become advanced devotees. Sannyasis must abide by Lord Rishabdev's instruction while on the path of devotional service. Lord Rishabdev retired from family life and lived like a naked man even while still with his family. So the next verse 29. After accepting the feature of adhbhut, so Prabhupada will describe what is adhbhut. A great saintly person without material cares. That's the meaning of adhbhut. Lord Rishabdev passed through the human society like a blind, deaf and dumb man, an idle stone, a ghost or a madman. Although people called him such names, he remained silent, did not speak to them. This is adhbhut. This is the definite. The word adhbhut refers to one who does not care for social convention, particularly varnashram dharma. However, such a person may be situated fully within himself and be satisfied with Supreme Personality of Godhead, on whom he meditates. In other words, one who has surpassed the rules and regulation of varnashram dharma is called adhbhut. It means sarvadharman paritya. Such a person has already surpassed the cultures of Maya, and he lives completely separate and independent. So here I think we have finished our today's quota. Anybody, any other adhbhut we know?
Nityanand Prabhu.
Nityananda Avadhut, yes. Nityananda Avadhut Shromanim. It's called Avadhut Shromanim. It's the best of the Avadhuts. Greatest jewel of all the Avadhuts.
There's also one adhbhut in the story of Prahlad Maharaj, who was like a python.
He met with the Avadhut that was Dattatreya. Dattatreya is also Avadhut who instructed Prahlad Maharaj, Alark and Yadu. In a 11th canto, the Yadu Maharaj was instructed by Avadhut, and that Avadhut is Dattatreya. So also the Avadhut, we have Rishabdev Avadhut, Dattatreya Avadhut, Nityananda Avadhut. And also Vidur, when he left the kingdom, he was acting as a Avadhut. Because he was, you say, he acted like not unrecognized by the ordinary people.
Jad Bharat also.
Jad Bharat is more than Avadhut. He says the same, this birth becomes the Jad Bharat. Yeah, Jad Bharat is also Avadhut in that sense.
Sukadeva Goswami.
Sukadeva Goswami, yeah, he is Muni Shrestha. He's learned. So anybody has some other question or comment? I think we have completed our course. It's better that Mataji reminded that we have to only do 9 verses today. The other verses are also prose verses and not much purport. I have read the whole chapter today somehow. So these are the characteristic of Rishabh Dev.
I have one question.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, it's on the verse 21 and 22. Why Asuras are higher than Gandharvas, Siddhas and Kinnaras?
Because they have more power. They are more powerful. They can conquer them. And this the hierarchy is like that. And their planet, Sutal planet, is more opulent even than the planet of Indra. They are not afraid of anybody except the Sudarshan Chakra of Sri Krishna. It's also interesting how there's also another question, how the Brahma is higher than Shiva. So Chakravarti Pad has given us little insight that no, Shiva is a higher Vaishnava, but somehow as respect to Brahmana, Brahma is high. Because this is only the topic who respect Brahman. Okay, any other question or comment?
I have a question regarding when one actually transcends the varnashrama. So my question is actually, because you mentioned this verse, Sarvabhauma Parityaja,
Sarvabhauma, yes.
To Krishna. How does this relate to the stage of advancement on the spiritual path of bhakti?
And generally, Srila Prabhupada, in the beginning, he thought that we are above Varna Ashram because devotion is above Varna Ashram.
Yes.
But then he realized that in a Kali Yuga, people has to practice first Varna Ashram and really be established, and then they can advance further beyond because the Varna Ashram is within the 3 modes of material nature. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati is a one person who accepted the Varna Ashram system, and he accepted the saffron cloth, while before him all were the Babajis were Paramahansas. They were like beyond Varna Ashram. They were, and he said, because they were already Paramahansas and we are not that stage, it's better we should follow Varna Ashram. But not the Varna Ashram, ordinary Varna Ashram, but Devi Varna Ashram. He used the word divine Varna Ashram. So Prabhupada has a talk about this divine Varna Ashram in Vrindavan, which was a small booklet sometime. He said, when I'm mopping the floor of the deities, I'm acting as a 4th class Shudra, but I'm doing it for Krishna, so it is divine. I'm selling the books in the market, so it's like a Vaishya, but I'm not doing it for myself. I'm preaching to the public, so it is divine Vaishya. So Devi Varna Ashram is a concept of Bhakti Siddhanta and Srila Prabhupada. So that is higher than the ordinary Varna Ashram. So devotees are above actually Varna Ashram in one sense. Because the Vaishnava is above Brahmana. Brahman is the highest Varna Ashram. Vaishnava is above Varna Ashram in that sense. But still we have to act like a Varna Ashram, but we may be internally higher than that. Because not to disturb the whole system. So Prabhupada wanted ultimately not to disturb the system. But Sarvadharman Parityaja is like gopis are the example of Sarvadharman Parityaja. They were not following any rules, regulation, custom. Simply they are attached to Krishna. They have no other, what people will say, they are not concerned about that. So similarly, these adhbhut, they are, and the other thing is Varna Ashram is identified by their action and by their, outer work. Adhbhut, you cannot recognize which one he belongs to. There's no any sign on his body, that, like Sukhdev is like that. You cannot recognize which one he belongs to. So Prabhupada used to say the people like, now our tilak is a Vaishnava tilak, but it's a Gaudiya Vaishnava tilak. You can see the other people with the tilak, you can say, oh, he is a Nimbarki Vaishnava, or this is a Vishnu Swami Vaishnava. So Prabhupada used to say, in a Varna ashram system, everybody is recognized by his, the way you see him. But adhbhut, you cannot recognize which one he belongs or which, path he follows. No, he's transcendental. There's a little difference between the Vipra and Brahmins. The Vipras are those who are expert in karma kand. Okay, this you have quoted. Also see this fourth canto. I remember somehow it's a hazy in my mind, but somebody looked at the fourth canto, Narada instruction about the 3 births. I think to the Prachetas. I said, this is my, my guess educated that there is something there. I'm
Prabhuji, I have got it.
Yeah,
Text number 10 here, he says, first birth is by pure father and mother, and this birth is called birth by semen. The next birth take place when one is initiated by the spiritual master, and this birth is called Savitra. The third birth, called Yagnika, takes place when one is given the opportunity to worship Lord Vishnu.
Okay. So therefore the Brahman and Vipra, we should accept the first canto definition as Srila Prabhupada has given, which you have quoted and put in chat.
Yes.
So everybody can refer to that, because that's the better one. And there's also a good information, say Sukar, Savitrik, Yagnik. These are 3 births. And Yagnik means karmakanda, but basically it's like a rituals, which is like a Vipra. This is what in my mind, that is called Vipra.
Does the word also means Purohit?
Purohit is a family priest who look after the benefit of his dependent. Pro means first, hit means benefit. So they are family priest for the family rituals. And all used to have family priest. Pandavas has their family priest Dhaumya Rishi. Yes. And Yadava has their family priest Garga Muni. Nanda Baba has his family priest Sandalya Rishi. So they used to have their own family priest to guide them in regular rituals. But they are not more like the initiating spiritual masters. They are more like Vipras, guiding them in the regular sanskaras, name giving ceremony. Garga Acharya came for Krishna and Balaram because they were Yaduvansis. Okay, see you again tomorrow. Thank you. You are joining 17. I said, the time is not good, but still you are joining. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I'm finishing one class at 6:15 and then I'm coming to 6:30 for the next class. And I'm sorry, I was all of a sudden told that I have to discuss with you 2 chapters. So I'm trying my level best to put things together. If so, it can help you something, and then pray for me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your kindness.